Good morning. How are we doing today? Are you feeling anything like me where you're going through the change and the fatigue, the tiredness is unbearable? Well, let me tell you something. I feel it too, and I go through it every single day. Some days it can be better than others, worse than others, whatever. It's a bit of a mix, like your emotions, like your hormones. It's like this, isn't it? The tiredness. But what I do sometimes to actually help, well, as much as I can really, is a number of things actually that I try and do just to help with the fatigue and just to help cope whilst I'm actually building a business around my full-time job. And I've got more than one business as well. So there's multiple things that I'm doing, and I have other commitments as well as, as I say, working full time. So here are the things that I do, and I hope they may help you cope with things better. So, waking up tired, as I say, you're exhausted, you feel like you haven't slept, struggling through the work, struggling to get through work. Um, when you're in a meeting, you got brain fog, you can't think of what you want to say, trying to get your point across and just can't get your point across on something or an idea on something. Feeling drained before you even start your day. You just feel like, oh, have I got another so many hours before I can get back to bed feeling, we all just want to stay in bed, basically. We don't want to get up, right? So for me, what I do is I try to be active, which I know you think, "Well, how can you if you're so tired?" I actually push myself. I think, right, okay, what I do is I go out and I get some fresh air, even if it means 5-10 minutes. Now, if you cannot physically walk outside, you just cannot do it. Just sit outside. If you have, a chair or a wall or something you can sit on that's safe for you to sit on, then do that. Get fresh air, take a drink with you, a bottle of water preferably, or a squash, something that's not going to have caffeine in it, something natural as possible. I know squash isn't completely natural, but it's just a flavouring cordial, isn't it, to water. If you don't like drinking water, is what I'm trying to say. But ideally, drink water, take a glass of water with you or a bottle of water with you and sit in the garden 10 minutes or however long you can manage. If the weather is not so great, okay, fine. Maybe put something on that you can wear and sit in the garden still with like a waterproof coat on and waterproof clothing on, or is there a shelter or some sorts in the garden? Some people have like various pagodas and summer houses and all sorts of things these days. So if you can sit outside or be outside, even if it's raining, do it, because believe me, it's going to help. You might not think it at the time because everyone doesn't want to get soaked in the rain. I certainly don't want to be. And when you live in Wales, you get a lot of rain. That's why it's so green here, because we get a lot of rain. But if you can go for a walk, ultimately, please do so. Do it obviously in a safe environment. Don't just go in a risky place. Don't go when it's extremely late at night, or at least tell people if you're going to go for a walk where you're going. Have your location on. If you've got an app that can show where you are with your location, so people know where you are, worst case scenario. I'm not trying to put any negative, scary thoughts in your mind. I'm simply saying this for you, just for your safety point of view. Like I say, hydration is ultimately the best way you can go with this. It's also about having balanced meals, because I know I've gained a lot of weight, okay? My stomach is more bloated constantly. No matter what I do, I am bloated. I have gained weight. So I'm trying to incorporate healthier meals, but also make my portion sizes smaller, because my habit was actually eating too much, I think, as well. My portion sizes were too big. I didn't need to eat that amount of volume of food. Yes, I eat regularly, minimum 2 meals a day. But I don't have as much on my plate like I used to, or I certainly can't consume as much as I used to. Now, currently, I'm still on Mangiano, but I'm actually going to be coming off that very soon. I haven't ordered another uh, injection because the prices have just shot up. I can't. Well, I don't have the money. Basically, I can't buy it. I just don't. I can't afford it right now. So for me, I am simply going to do as much as I can to work around the battle of trying to lose this weight. If you're able to take a power nap, do it. If you're able to rest for 20 minutes, half hour, do it. I end up doing this more so on a weekend than I do on a weekday, because clearly I'm in work full time and I'm also trying to build a business. But especially on a weekend, if I feel like I just need to sleep and my eyes are burning, then I will actually take a bit of time out. It also helps you ground yourself a bit, it helps you bring yourself back down. It calms you down, your nervous system a little. So I think definitely if you can have a little break, put your feet up. If you can't sleep, put your feet up, just rest your body for 20 minutes to half an hour. Okay. That's one thing I would suggest. That's what I do. Saying no to things as well that drain your energy. I touched on this yesterday. If you're around people that absolutely suck the life out of you in terms of negativity, and you just think, oh my gosh, I feel like I've done a work in a day, like, a whole week's worth of work in a day around this individual, then that's a massive indication that you shouldn't be around that person. You need to distance yourself from that person. Don't need to be rude. Just realize your body's telling you that they are not your vibe. They are not your tribe of people. You need to be less around those individuals as much as possible because you're already battling with the lack of energy, lack of sleep, etc. So don't make it worse for yourself. Be in control of your life, right? Don't be afraid to make adjustments. You've got to do this for you. It's about keeping yourself safe and as secure and in the best environments as possible within your control. Sometimes you can't always get away from these individuals. Maybe you're working with them and they're in your team at work or whatever. I understand that, but if you can try and minimize conversation with them as much as possible, don't go outside of work and socialize with them if you can help it. I started doing that last year. I'm not going to mention who, but yeah, there were certain people that were so unstable energy. No, not a safe, environment to be around. So I literally backed right off. I had to. Because otherwise I think I'd end up saying something because I got to that stage where I'm really finding it hard to bite my tongue. So I'd rather not be rude. I'd rather not say anything nasty. I'm not that type of person. I don't like conflict anyway. But I find that my tolerance level with things is getting, yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, moving on. So, for me, I just think that you've got to have a bit of automation with your systems, as in routine. You've got to start putting things into your routine and do it consistently to try and make that impact sustained for the long term for you, for your mental health, for your lack of energy, the lack of sleep that you're going through, the hot flushes, everything else that comes into play with it. And I think, like I say, when it comes to anything work related, I definitely suggest that you look at high impact tasks, things that are going to make you feel good. Okay, yes, there are times where we got to deal with something and you don't want to, but my advice would be just do it first and then focus on something that's more positive after, because you've already dealt with a big thing that you can't stand. It's out of your head. You've dealt with it. It's done. Move on. Yeah. Don't dwell on it. Think, right, okay, what can I do now that's going to actually, improve, increase, do something that you want to do or you enjoy doing. Something that you think, right, oh, do you know what? I don't mind doing that. Then do it. If it makes you feel a bit better, if it helps lift your energy, go for it. What else? I think also, most importantly, is we don't slow down. And this goes back to rest. But I think giving yourself permission to go slower with things. Stop rushing. Everything is like 100 miles an hour these days, because technology is more advanced. Younger generations expect things done quicker, more simplified. Everything they want is now. Well, sometimes things can't be now. And if it means that you've got to stop for a minute and just have a breather and take a bit of time out, do it, because it's better for you to stay sane and to keep your health and mental health on a better even keel than to be so stressed out that you feel like I'm going to literally lose the plot, like my head's going to go, I can't think, I can't see the wood through the trees, right? So I would strongly suggest that you take a bit of time out if you can. Be kinder to yourself, okay? Recognize, actually, I need to slow down for a minute. I need to just stop. I need to go off and make a cup of tea, make a drink, just go for a walk around the building, go into the garden, have 10-15 minutes out inside in fresh air, breathe deep breaths in and slowly release. Do this as often and as many times as you need to do per day through the day, because you've got one life, guys. Simple as, you've got one life. You're already dealing with things as you are. I really would suggest taking as much time out as you can. Easier said than done when you've got a family, you've got a business and everything else that you're doing as well. But I think you need to really start looking at ways that you can implement into your routine. Or if you recognize that you're starting to feel a bit wobbly and you think, I don't know whether I'm going to laugh, cry, burst into an angry fit, I don't know what's going on, then step away, remove yourself from that situation, get away from it, okay? Recognize what you're feeling and, commend yourself, be proud of yourself for doing this. There's nothing wrong in it. It's about keeping yourself safe mentally and physically. So if anything I said today resonates, I hope it does, and I hope it helps. But these are all about my experiences. I'm not giving you any medical advice or anything of that nature. I would suggest that you go and seek advice from a medical profession if you really want to know more and do more. And then I would suggest go from there and evaluate how and what things happen, how it makes you feel. Does it improve your way of thinking? Does it help change the situation? And then, what works, what doesn't work, and then go from there. That's ultimately how I deal with things. But like I say, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Not one size fits all, as they say. But you need to find out what works for you ultimately and take that responsibility, okay? And just recognize you're a human being, you're not a robot. You can only do what you can do at the end of the day. And sometimes things have to slow down a bit more for you to be able to get those things achieved. You'll get them done. It just means it might take you an extra 20 minutes, half hour. Okay, fine. But the main point of view is that you're bringing yourself first into the situation and you're understanding and respecting the fact that I come first, regardless. It's your time now. This time that you're going through is your time. It's about being kind to yourself ultimately. And if you want to be in this community, please like and subscribe this channel. I really, really want to grow this channel now. It's about mental health as well. It's not just about menopause. It's not just about the hot flushes. It's about growing this for a mental health point of view, as well as us women that are going through the change. So thank you for being here as always. Have a fantastic day and have a great week. Stay blessed. Take care all.